Hello, and welcome to Soulmates, where we talk about all our favorite little guys in all our favorite little games.
Great start.
Hey, be nice.
I'm nice.
I'm Ivy Fox. It is a beautiful December afternoon. There's like an inch of pillowy snow on the ground. The light is soft and diffuse through the clouds. What a perfect
Canadian.
day. Be nice.
I'm
I'm trying to do my nice little intro.
Okay.
Ahem. What a beautiful day to celebrate our anniversary. Happy
Yay.
Soulmates anniversary, everyone. Joining me, as always, someone I have had the privilege to introduce to you for a year now, and hopefully will continue to do so for many years. It's Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash. It's also December and in the afternoon, but I don't have an inch of pillowy snow. It's like 50 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Like nippy, but not bad. I hung out with some dogs earlier. That was pretty great. Dating the recording of this episode.
Ash, I knew it was going to be a good day when I went to go to the bakery to get some lunch, and I got my lunch, and the woman was like, would you like a $1 garlic bread? And I was like, why not? And I expected this to be like, you know, a slice of garlic bread. And what it ended up being was a foot-long baguette of garlic bread.
Whoa.
For $1. And that's how you know
$1.
that it's a good day.
Have you eaten any?
Yes, I ate it with my mac and cheese that I got for lunch. I put the mac and cheese on the garlic bread and ate it.
That sounds effervescent.
Yeah, it was great. It's a good day. Ash, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
You know, sorry I don't have many good jokes. I'm genuinely, warm and fuzzy and happy to be here with you. I can't believe we've been doing this for a year. Asterisk, we're recording this slightly before it releases, but it will release on our 1-year anniversary of podcast.
Uh-huh.
Insane,
actually.
A little bit.
I always find that when I'm talking to people about, what I do with my life, I'm I forget instantly everything that I do. Until I have to carry on a conversation for more than, 3 to 5 minutes, at which point everything interesting that I have to talk about is inextricably tied to the most sort of complex and strange creative projects and social groups that there are in the world. And chief among those is explaining that every other Thursday, sometimes more, usually more recently, I am engaged for 2 to 3 hours in recording a podcast where we talk about mostly women in Mahjong Soul. And this requires just a lot of explanation. And means that I am a profoundly interesting person.
You heard it here first, people. Soulmates makes you a profoundly interesting person.
Soulmates makes you a good person.
Soulmates makes you a good person.
Dare I say it?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I find myself doing this a lot also, is, people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, here's my job. Here's all the surgery I've been recovering from. And then I'm like, but really, the most interesting and consistent thing I do is, okay, so you know how sometimes there's art of women, and then I meticulously walk them through Soulmates, which usually takes 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I walk them through what we do. I walk them through our philosophy. I have a couple standout pieces of art I pull out, and I'm like, here's a piece of art we've talked about that I like and what we said about it. kind of insane. Anyway, so this podcast is very important to me. So I'm very glad we made it to a year, and I'm hoping we can make it to many more. And
it's a very real podcast.
It's such a real podcast, sort of. Me and Ash were watching some just random YouTube video essays last night, and we were like, what we do is sort of topically similar to these, in that it's talking about weird game art, but they're sort of like that, and we're kind of not.
Yeah.
Naturally, we think this makes us better. But our extremely indie in many ways podcast, much more indie than most podcasts that purport themselves to be indie. I don't know. I like it. I'm fond of it. And we have a little anniversary celebration activity, which is we are for the first time, but maybe not the last time. We are going to be we're going to be doing some actual playing a tabletop RPG, a little indie tabletop RPG by Anna Valens called A Goddess Tryst.
Fellas, stay with me.
Fellas, stay with me. Which is about having a, erotically charged encounter with a goddess. Right off the bat, just so that Ash's mom doesn't immediately turn this off.
I know, you said that and then, my mother has already left. She's gone. PAX?
5 PAX. Sorry you can't join us for our lesbian sex RPG on our anniversary.
It's not. There will be no. It's for fun.
Uh-huh.
No sex will happen.
It's our anniversary parenthetical podcast, and we're going to be playing a lesbian sex RPG, parenthetical platonic.
It's time to consummate our podcast.
After a year? God damn.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
I mean, there was that whole incident with the magic jade, and it took a while.
Ash has gotten ahead of me a little bit. One of the things in this is that it does describe itself as a lesbian sex RPG, which is great. You do not have to. I have played it many times without sex. And one of the most important things in it is lines and veils, which is what are lines that we want to cross, and what are things that we are willing to touch but keep veiled and nondescript. Our first and hardest line is no sex, because listen, people, we've had sex on this podcast. Phrasing.
Phrasing. Holy shit.
Hang on.
I don't think people even know this on account of we've had unlisted episodes on our podcast.
Ash, don't say that after what I just said. That has bad implications. What I meant was, we've featured games with explicit sexual content on the podcast before.
People on the YouTube don't know this.
People on the YouTube don't know this. They don't know about New Carnival. Me and Harry have had sex on this podcast, by which I mean featured a game with explicit sexual content. However,
I'm chaste.
Ash is famously chaste.
Jesus Christ.
Pax, if you're still here, don't worry.
You're still here.
Ash is famously chaste.
Mother, stay with me.
Oh, God. However, first of all, I think that you should have a erotic, explicitly sexual game of Goddess Tryst, sort of in the comfort of your own home, in the privacy of your own home. And also...
Not where the neighbors can see.
Not where the neighbors can see. And also, I didn't even talk about what the premise is. The premise is that we're going to be having a goddess tryst with Kaguyahime. And I don't think that Kaguyahime has sex. I said this exactly a year ago, and I stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't... I don't know if she knows what sex is. And she certainly wouldn't have it. Certainly not with you. Look at yourself. Come on.
I know. What makes you worthy?
And our other veils are, like, there will be some probably will be some sexual content, but any, like, explicit nudity will be veiled, non-descriptive. Also, there might be some violence, but we'll keep it relatively mild and comedic. And it will also be...
can take out the chainsaw, but she can't use it
Yeah, we
on
talked
someone.
about it specifically. She can take out the chainsaw, you know, but she, like, can't kill you with it. I would also say, you know, she can kind of, like, give you a aggressive and slightly playful shove, but probably not, like, you know, slap you across the face, like, very hard. That sort of thing. So that's where we're at. Should we just get started?
Yeah.
Okay, so... also, boundary that I'm setting. One, the reason why I'm doing this is because IMO, this is sort of the culmination of, like, the fantasy that all of the games that we cover are trying to capture of, like, you know, I get to hang out with this hot person. And so we're really doing it. But specifically, the fantasy of Mahjong Soul, or at least the fantasy of Mahjong Soul that Kaguyahime taps into, is that I get to play Mahjong with this hot woman. I don't. There doesn't have to be Mahjong at all in the story, but I do think they have to be a Jianshi.
Yeah.
They have to play Mahjong at the Mahjong Soul Shrine in Wonhan City, aka Ichiban City. I should get used to calling it Ichiban City. It's a better name.
I prefer Wonhan City. Now we have to fight.
I guess we have to fight on our anniversary? God damn. And... Sorry, I got distracted thinking about how often we jokingly allude to being married on this podcast. Also, our Jianshi, our mortal character, has to be a woman. Just in honor of this being
it's a lesbian
sex RPG. You do not have to play this lesbian, but it is sort of like, she's like, you can do whatever you want, but this is how I wrote it. And, you know. Okay, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, we have a deck of tarot. Oh, first of all, I should introduce our deck. This is a random tarot deck that I pulled off of the Tabletop Simulator workshop.
There's a furry on it.
From a page entirely in Cyrillic, and it is like a black and white line art, hyper stylized furry deck.
Sick.
You can find...
It does say tapo instead of tarot.
Yeah, the page was in Cyrillic. The where the guy got the art seems to be in... I think it might just be a stylized tarot. But you can find this art, the artist who did these cards, at furaffinity.net/user/dzeman, or Zeman, I suppose.
Awesome.
Keep in mind that this is Fur Affinity. Be aware.
Be aware that what you see on Fur Affinity is not... We, the podcast, do not take responsibility.
Yeah. I was worried you were going to say we don't endorse it, and I was like, well, I wouldn't go that far. But we don't take responsibility, for sure.
Use discretion.
Use discretion. This is a sick tarot deck. We can look through the cards really quick. Just like, remember you can press Alt to zoom in, Alt and then scroll to zoom in.
Whoa.
Oh, that Eight of Swords is sick as fuck.
It is sick as fuck.
The wands are, what are they? Let me find one. The cups are flasks. I'm just gonna call them by their normal name. The wands are clysters.
The fuck is a clyster?
I looked this up. A clyster is a medieval enema.
Sure. I mean, whatever makes you happy.
Whatever makes you happy. For Affinity user Zeman. Zeman's art is genuine. I was looking at it a bit. Their art is incredible.
It's awesome.
But anyway, so that's the deck we're using. Ash has an interpretation site. I assume we're gonna use like a mix of, you know, what's on the card and what your sort of interpretation says, what your guide says. Okay, so here's how we start. I'm hoping to take a picture of our spread and then put it up on the Tumblr so you can look at the thing and sort of follow along card by card. But the first thing that we do is, the whole game is just drawing tarot cards, and the first thing that we do is we draw the 3 goddess tarot cards. You can do this very loosely, but I'm going to follow the guide in the book, which is, the first one is how she carries herself, the second one is how she relates to others, and the third one is what desires she seeks. Now, notably, this is for creating a goddess from scratch. And so for a while, I was like, well, maybe we should pick one of these cards ahead of time that really represents Kaguyahime. But I think we can just sort of know that it's Kaguyahime and be like, this is how she's feeling today. Yeah. You know?
This is her situation. This is the vibe.
So here's how she carries herself. I'm going to flip it, and then I'll describe the card while you go look up the interpretation.
Sick.
Okay. Here we go. It is the 5 of Circles.
Or Pentacles, if you're cool.
Oh, Pentacles. Yeah, sorry. This uses the word deniers, which I did not look up. But it's fine.
I mean, it's like coins.
It's coins, yeah.
Which is also...
But I'll call them pentacles for sort of ease of... the art of this is a guy... Species unclear, but in like a sick hat and like a stole that is covered in these big coins, and below him are sort of the poor and needy wrapped in tattered blankets and, you know, with crutches and bandages. Very like, you know, I am powerful and wealthy above all of these poor people.
Mm-hmm. Well, 5s are typically nothing good if you're familiar with tarot. I'm relatively familiar with it. And so, like, you know, in the same way that the major arcana, you probably know, represent, like, a journey from Fool to World, the 1 through 10 also has that kind of arc. You know, a real hero's journey, where famously in the middle of it, it's not so good. And so 5s are rough. The keywords for the 5 of Pentacles, hardship, loss, isolation, adversity, struggle, alienation, disgrace.
Okay. This is how she carries herself.
Mm-hmm.
So how would this manifest in Kaguyahime specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Has she just...
Pentacles is usually pretty tangible and physical means.
Right.
And so potentially I'm inclined to say, like, she's, you know, it's less that she's emotionally had a bad day, and more so, you know, I don't know, she lost a bet earlier, or
yeah,
like,
I was gonna say, what if she like lost her favorite fan in a mahjong match bet, and is like kind of pissed off at this, and also just looks a little bit less fancy because she doesn't have a fancy little fan.
That's really what I want, is that she looks a little bit, out of her, like, element, out of her, I don't know what I was trying to say. Down on her luck.
Right. Maybe she lost something even bigger. Maybe she lost, like, her fucking, like, headpiece or whatever. She's, like, mildly unrecognizable without it.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. That bastard Ichihime probably won it off of her. That bastard. Okay, so that's how she's carrying herself. Poorly. As in, she looks poor.
She looks poor.
She looks significantly less regal than usual. Okay, how she relates to others is the the Maid of Wands. This is like the art for this card.
The Queen of Wands, if you're cool.
Oh yeah, the Queen of Wands.
Would it be the Queen of Wands or the? I don't know actually.
Oh yeah. I can look and see what all of the suits are. Or what all of the.
Because there's Page, Knight, King, and Queen.
Yeah. Let me... Gallery, Tarot, Moon Tower, High Priestess, Magician. Oh, in this there's King, Queen, Knight, and... Okay, so the maids are the pages, actually.
Maid is Page, got it.
Yeah. Just adding some extra women into the equation.
Bonus woman.
But this is like a nurse with big sort of like butt high boots that also have garters. She's like a bird lady. She has a cool hat. And she has like a big needle that is the wand. And she's being helped by this like little kind of scruffy looking bird guy who's like carrying a big tube of stuff sticking out of the big wand. It's on fire. It's on fire.
In our spread, this represents
how she relates to others.
Well, often, the Page, Knight, King, and Queen can be interpreted as people in your life, so this is a quite fitting one, I feel like. So the Page of Wands, or Maid of Wands, is a good thing, unlike the previous one. Wands tend to represent, like, new growth or, like, ideas, plans. And so the Page of Wands is adventure, excitement, fresh ideas. It can represent somebody who's extroverted, energetic, that kind of thing.
Okay. So is it that she oh, this is a good premise to start us off with. Is it that she's like looking for a co-conspirator? She's like looking for someone to worship her and help her get her shit back. And so she's like weirdly kind of nice in this moment.
She has a heist plan. She needs a...
Yeah. She needs a lackey. And so she's like, she's being a little bit generous.
I like this a lot.
Okay, and then final one is what desire she seeks. It's the one of pentacles or diners. Diners. In the art, this is a guy. This is like a fox guy in like a Robin Hood getup, lifting a big coin. And then there's a bunch of birds up above pointing at it, being like, whoa. And a bunch of little sort of adventurer guys coin down below looking up at it, going, whoa. And everyone's impressed by this big, sick coin.
Sick coin. And this represents...
The suit? Pentacles.
In
sorry.
our spread.
What desire she seeks.
What desire she seeks. Well, this fits well with the previous ones that we have. Again, Pentacles indicates material things. The Ace is, again, the start of a new cycle. And so this is new opportunities, prosperity, abundance. It's usually this is a good card to get in your, wealth reading. Like, soon you will come upon a great boon. So she's seeking to,
Yeah.
become wealthy.
She wants to get her shit back, but she's like, what if I can get even more? What desires she seeks? Good stuff. Whatever she can get her hands on, I think. Awesome. Okay, so how she carries herself is that she's lost her headpiece in a bet, and just looks a little bit, rattier.
She looks kind of like shit.
Yeah. How she relates to others is that she's looking for an accomplice, and is like being weirdly kind of nice and extroverted to do this. And then what she seeks, the good shit. What does that mean?
The good shit.
Let's find out together. Okay. And then we draw the player card, or the mortal card. Mortals are not goddesses. They're mortals. You may know this about mortals. And so they're well, goddesses. This is a famously accurate way to describe Kaguyahime. Are, quote, multifaceted, complex, and paradoxical beings filled with aeons of nuance. We know this. Like Kaguyahime. Mortals are comparatively simple, and so only get a single card. And then we basically just, interpret that card, and that's our guy. The 9 of Wands. This is a bunch of sort of rat people in kind of like uniforms, like military uniforms, lined up with their big scary anima wands. That's basically all there is to it. This is Ash looks up this interpretation. This is a good time to point out that there's in the gameplay of this, which is pretty loose, but there's like suit synergy. And so the fact that our goddess has a wands card and our mortal has a wands card is significant. This means that they're similar in some way. And drawing a wands card both indicates that aspect of the goddess and indicates our mortal, and drawing pentacle cards will indicate those two aspects of our goddess. Anyway, what's up with the 9 of Wands, Ash?
So the 9 in our cycle is right before the end, which is 10, which means that you're almost there. You're really getting there. But the 9 also tends to represent the light at the end of the tunnel. Like you've been through a long struggle, and now here you are. And so the 9 of Wands can be conceived as persistence, resilience, but also a last stand and fatigue. It's overcoming a great many trials.
Sorry, I had it not wrong, but the book specifically calls this there'll be a link to this. If you can download it for free. There'll be a link to this in the episode description. You can read along, play it for yourself. It's a good game. But this book describes this as a temperament card. So this is our main character's temperament. They feel like they're right on the cusp of greatness. This is their sort of vibe. Also a good time to talk about, I guess, what is their relationship to Kaguyahime? have to be sort of like a worshiper or a disciple of Kaguyahime, but what does that mean? What does that, how does that relate to this card? And just like, what's their deal in general? Who's this person? Just give them a name. To me, name.
Nightmare.
To me, the Nine of Wands, especially next to the Maid of Wands, especially with this, like, the art on the Nine of Wands is all of these, like, soldiers, and in the Maid of the Wands, it's this, like, powerful nurse and this little lackey, under them. It really gives me the impression that this is just kind of like a big Kaguyahime kind of fangirl. Like, she's like, she's just like a huge fan.
Strongest soldier.
She's Kaguyahime's strongest soldier. And, she's just like, oh my god, Kaguyahime, let me carry that for you. Oh my god, Kaguyahime, let me help you with this. Every time they're in the Mahjong Soul Shrine playing some community Mahjong together, she's like, oh my god, can I get you anything? Do you want a cup of tea?
I feel like our mortal has been like a hanger-on for Kaguyahime for a long time, and has dealt with Kaguyahime for a long time through many struggles. But now, in this moment where Kaguyahime is at her lowest, finally an opportunity arises for her to be, to be meaningful to the goddess Kaguyahime. She's ready. She stands at the ready.
She stands at the ready. She's at 9 out of 10. She's almost there. Kaguyahime has almost recognized me as dirt worthy to be stepped on.
Dirt worthy to be stepped on.
I feel like if you're a disciple of Kaguyahime, this has to be your kind of thought process.
Absolutely.
She has to support support women.
Support women.
Extremely women supporting women. What could be better?
Support benevolence. Promote virtue.
What's her deal, kind of, otherwise? What's her job? Give me a random job this person has.
You
can do whatever.
Then radio silence.
I mean, I can say something if you want me to.
Valet.
Perfect. Right, so she's got the tone down. She's got the tone of serving people down. She's just like a hotel valet. But she actively resents everyone who is not Kaguyahime, I feel. Why am I taking your bags? I could be taking the bags of a goddess. And then she would spit on me, and I would love this.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I feel like her name is just like Sarah.
Sarah is good. I accept Sarah.
Sarah. Okay.
Sarah.
Now we almost starting the game. We start with I'm just reading the book to make sure.
Ivy's little hand has disappeared from Tabletop Simulator. What am I to do?
Sorry, I'll be back soon. Okay. We set the scene first. I was like, does the encounter card set the scene? No, we set the physical details of the scene before we pull a card. So, like, how and where are these two encountering?
I feel like this is my initial vision, is that Kaguyahime has just left Mahjong Soul Shrine after, losing badly. It's like, it's like evening. It's like they're closing up.
Right.
Otherwise she wouldn't have left. She would insistently keep trying to win it back, but she couldn't do it by the end of the day.
Yeah. Is the moon out, or is it like sunset? Does the moon come out later?
The moon comes out later.
Okay, so it's like sunset. It's like a nice sort of
sunset.
orange wash sunset across the sakura trees. I'm understanding.
Mm-hmm. And Sarah's off work now, so
right. She hasn't been at the Mahjong Soul Shrine. Has she isn't the shrine like up a mountain? Something like that. It's out of town. Has she hiked up there basically just to see if she could catch a glimpse of Kaguyahime?
Yes.
Okay. And do they have a meet cute on the stairs? Do they bump into each other? Or should we figure that out using the tone card, the encounter card?
Let's figure it out using the encounter card.
Okay, so the encounter card, just interpret how the card relates to the scene and how it sets the action in motion. All right, here we go. First card, bop. It is immediately in one of our two suits, the six of wands.
This is a pretty straight up recreation of the Rider-Waite tarot card. Funny.
That's funny. It's a little. I'm pretty sure it's a horse guy, riding on another horse guy. He's carrying a needle sword, and so is the horse, and so are a bunch of little what are they called? Like Sancho Panza.
Mm-hmm. A squire?
Squire. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. These little squires who also have his weird little needle swords.
Well, the Six of Wands is extremely triumphant. The Six of Wands is this person has just, won heroically in battle. This crowd of people are cheering. This person is successful, and publicly recognized. This is, it's victory, triumph, praise, acclaim. Pretty straightforward.
Sure. So how does this manifest? Sarah bumps into Kaguyahime outside the Mahjong Soul Shrine.
I feel like Sarah is the one who is in a good position here, and is such, in this place of public recognition and praise in such a way that Kaguyahime is able to acknowledge her as a person who might be useful.
Okay, I was thinking her kind of devoting herself to Kaguyahime is her moment of triumph, but she has some other moment of triumph that gets her recognized in some small way by Kaguyahime.
That's my feeling.
Okay. Does she pulling from the roulette wheel of random Mahjong Soul characters in my head. One of Miki's hedgehogs that she has on her at all times, jumped off and ran away, and Sarah chased after it and carefully and safely retrieved it. And Kaguyahime sees, and everyone's like, wow, so cool. She wasn't even here today. I don't know why she's here, but okay. And Kaguyahime is like, she can get stuff.
Mm-hmm. So Sarah approaches the shrine, is waiting for Kaguyahime for when the shrine closes, and then sees one of Miki's hedgehogs making a break for it, and saves the day.
Right, and then everyone,
In
and then
full
everybody
view.
claps.
Yeah, everyone claps.
Everyone claps. Pick your favorite Mahjong Soul guy. They're there. They're clapping.
Yeah.
Hibiki,
Akechi.
clapping. Okay, cool.
This is a joke about how Akechi is not my favorite Mahjong soul.
Okay.
I picked one that... Anyway.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter.
I'm flipping the next card. So that's our initial encounter, and from now, we just kind of do that over and over again. We draw a card, we flip the card. There's a couple different ways to play this, including, like, one person is the goddess and one person is the mortal, and, like, you take turns or whatever. But I think we're just gonna sort of tell the story together. It's sort of my favorite way to play this. So let's just move on to the next, like, part of the scene. Bop. It is, so major arcana are significant moments. A major arcana represents, like, either a significant thing in someone's life happening or a significant moment in the story. Major arcana are you know, well, they're major. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is strength. This is like a cool goat lady fighting a fish. It's like a naked goat lady. Oh no, she's a Capricorn. She's a goat fish, and she's fighting like a fish or a dragon. With her, she has like fin fists. Cool card.
Cool card.
Cool card.
This is number 11. I've been thinking a lot about Persona 5 lately. The Strength Arcana is Justine and Caroline. There's your tip of the day. Persona 5, still kind of a good video game. It's alright. Anyway, strength is traditionally someone taming a lion. That's the usual depiction. There's a little lion head at the top of this card that is cute. And then it's, you know, it kind of is what it says on the tin a little bit. Inner strength, fortitude, you know, courage, bravery, confidence. Like, it's strength. What this is strength.
Uh-huh. Strength? Yeah, that's
it's strength.
Okay. So is this like Sarah like holding her ground a little bit? As Kaguyahime comes up to her and is like, "Mortal, I see that you can find things. I see that you can locate objects. How would you like to be in my service?" And she's strong. She doesn't freak out and cry, but she wants to, but she doesn't. She's strong. She holds her ground and is like, "Yes, goddess, anything you need."
Ah, I see. So this is her kind of pathetic ass having, like, you know, a moment of real, like, night girl butch confidence.
Yes, she's
for the first time in her life.
She's kind of cool for like 1 second.
For 1 second.
For 1 second. It's like, yes, I can find a hedgehog.
You're gonna hear so many typing sounds in the background of this episode. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's just non-stop.
It's fine. It's a loose episode. It's our anniversary. We can do whatever we want.
I'm not sorry.
Ash is not sorry.
I'm not sorry, nor am I sorry.
Uh-huh. Well, thank God your mom has already stopped listening.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry. Let me know when you're ready for the next card.
Go for it.
Oh, also notable, if we hate a card, we can discard it. and place it upside down. This still has an impact on the narrative, but it's just kind of like a moment of awkwardness before we move on to the actual thing happening. But we can only discard once per draw. So, if we discard and then we draw something we like even less, then we're stuck with it. I usually don't discard in this game, but it's good to have it on hand. Next. Oh, we continue to be in wands. Now it's the 3 of wands. It's some little guys with some snouts. They're on a weird looking ship. They're little fishermen. They have this weird anthropomorphic ship. Cool. 3 of wands, Ash. What's up?
Cool. The 3 of wands is closer to the beginning of your journey in terms of, your journey from 1 to 10. But it's, it's like moving ahead, confidence, growth. Wands is pretty, like, mental. There's a divide between, like, the physical and, like, the mental emotional, with, like, wands and cups falling on the emotional side and swords and pentacles falling on the physical side. So wands is pretty emotional. And so, like, this is, looking ahead, having foresight, like, taking stock of the opportunities in front of you, keeping a careful eye on your plans as you begin to execute them. Fucked ship. I like it.
I know. What's up with this fucked ship? It's like it has arms.
Cool. Good for them.
Cool ship with arms. I'm worried that it's gonna be like, you talk a lot, and then by the time you finish talking, I'll come up with something, and then I'm going to steal all of them. In terms of like storytelling. No. Okay. This reads pretty obviously to me, maybe too obviously, in that it's just like, this is the plan coming together, or at least this is the initialization. This is the pitch of the plan.
Yeah. So this is the scene in your favorite heist movie where they're like, explaining in extremely vague terms what they've set out to do, and then later on, this explanation will come up again, but more detailed as it's actually executed in real time.
That being said, I'm pretty sure that Kaguyahime doesn't actually know what she's talking about. I'm not sure if she actually has a plan, but she's like, listen, mortal, to curry my favor, you and I will break into the Mahjong Soul Shrine. We'll probably go through this window. It'll probably be fine. And then the cat girl, that nasty little thing, will probably be over there. So we can just go and get the thing, which is probably here. And then, maybe we can just take some other stuff, maybe.
Yeah, this isn't the Queen of Wands. This isn't the Ace of Wands, both of which I think are cards that would indicate a really, like, well thought through. The Ace of Wands is, like, beginning to conceptualize. We've skipped to 3.
Right. We're just like, okay, the plan. What's the plan?
We all know it. Let's go.
Let's go. Great. Sarah is like super enthused by this. She sees no reason to doubt this situation. She's like, great. All of the parts of this plan that I don't understand or seem unclear or vague are beyond my mortal comprehension. Thank you, goddess.
Yeah, it's just divine mystery.
It's just divine mystery. Aeons of complexity. Alright, next card. Bam. It's the Eight of Swords. Sick.
Ooh.
Oh, I was looking at this one.
Oh, this is the one that's sick.
This is the one that's sick. It's like a demon girl. She's like tied up with locked belts. She's naked and tied up with locked belts. And
This
has
is
like
also a
candy
sexier
canes.
version of what's already in the Rider-Waite Tarot, which is somebody tied up and surrounded with swords.
Yeah, and she's surrounded by 8 swords. Swords don't have a funny name in this deck. They're just swords.
No, they're just swords. Sad, honestly.
I don't know. I like a good sword. I'll never complain about a sword.
Listen, Ivy loves a good sword.
I love a good sword or 8.
So this is great. This is kind of what I wanted. The Eight of Swords sucks. 8 comes right before 9, and 9 is like finally getting out of my struggles, and 8 is like, fuck my struggles. The Eight of Swords is, as the image would suggest, a lot about being paralyzed, helpless, and imprisoned. There's a feeling of being trapped and victimized. Swords, again, are sort of physical, they're action-based, they're practical, and so, like, I take a little bit of issue with my favorite tarot site describing this as a feeling of victimization. I mean, I know it's doing that because whatever.
This is victimization.
This is victimization. This is being trapped. There is a situation which is beyond you, and your agency has been restricted.
Right. I will also note that this is out of our existing suits of our characters. Kaguyahime is really good with pentacles, and with wands, and our Sarah is very good at, naturally affinitive to wands, which has been like everything we've drawn. Swords, neither of them know how to deal with this. Neither of them know how to deal with actual physical hardship. Completely out of their element. Okay, Ash,
Plan,
sounds like you're
great. Execution,
So what happens here?
I feel
what does the
like
camera see?
I feel like it's, we go straight from, like, meet cute, night girl butch moment, very hasty construction of plan, to, like, now it's time to do Ocean's 11. We've got the multi-camera view, like, moving around, cutting in and out, and it's like, Sarah keeps glancing down at the diligent notes that she took on everything Kaguyahime said, and it's stuff like, Ichihime will probably be over there, and then she looks up, Ichihime is not over there. Ichihime, not the person probably who, ends up disrupting the plan, but like the first hint that something is wrong is you look up from your notes, and Ichihime is not, in fact, over at the mahjong table, still playing with the tiles. She's over, sweeping the mats and, like, cleaning up. And it's like, fuck.
Could this also, to sort of, like, not jump us ahead into the action too fast, not, like, jump us ahead into conflict too fast. Could this also, being trapped, be getting lost? Like, Sarah has never been backstage of the Mahjong Soul Shrine, and she's just been in sort of, like, the public area where you go to pray and play Mahjong. And it's sort of, like, weirdly complicated back there, and Kaguyahime did a bad job of explaining it, even if she knows. If she even knows. And so, like, Ichihime wasn't where she was supposed to be. Maybe Sarah was even like, great, now I can go through this door that she was supposed to be in front of. And immediately she's lost.
Yeah, wrong fucking door.
Is she also not with Kaguyahime anymore?
No.
Nope.
What's Kaguyahime's part in this plan?
Is she doing anything?
That's the question, isn't it?
Sort of unclear. I think it's sort of unclear to all parties. It's unclear to Sarah.
Unclear.
It's unclear to the camera. Who can say? So we're lost inside the Mahjong shrine. We're not with our goddess. Great tryst so far.
Great tryst so far.
Next card. It's the Knight of Flasks, aka the Knight of Cups. This is like a fox. This is a cool card. This is like a fox fetus inside of a fox-shaped transparent robot riding a horse fetus inside of a horse-shaped transparent robot. Yeah, so and he has a little child in a flask. He's a knight, and the horse is also a knight. There's also a little cat boy mermaid just kind of hanging out in the background of this one. I like this one a lot. The Knight of Flasks.
I just want to say that the first two sentences of this, upright Knight of Cups meaning paragraph is, the truth is that the Knight of Cups is the most feminine amongst all the knight cards in the tarot. It's important to note, though, that this doesn't even slightly suggest that he is any less of a worthy knight. Like, goddamn.
Uh-huh.
So Cups, again, a suit that we're not extremely suited to. Cups is emotional. Cups is extremely internal. It's like, how are you feeling? It's like, if we were, drawing for the vibe earlier and we got a lot of wands rather than a lot of cups, it's like, the vibe is there is action ahead. And then if we'd gotten a lot of cups, it would have been like, the vibe is, I have feelings. And those feelings don't result in an action. So the Knight of Cups is, signifier of the suit of cups, which is very emotional. As a person, indicating a person, the Knight of Cups could indicate somebody who is a good mediator or negotiator, someone who's tactful, and as like a symbol more so, it's more like it's time to listen to your heart. It's like, faced with a logical choice, go with your gut. Really, like, charge forward according to not the material situation, but the emotional situation.
Right. I guess the question is immediately, is the Knight of Flasks just Sarah, or is it someone else? Or is this just Sarah kind of in her feelings about being a knight?
It is very appropriate to our,
our construction
I
of
just
things
made the
so
loudest
far, yeah.
noise. I'm really trying my best not to bump my desk too much, but I did just, slam my knee against my desk. God bless. That one's staying in the edit.
I guess so.
It was in the middle of me talking. Anyway, distracted. It's appropriate for our, it's night girl butch time energy. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like this is good. But I don't know where to go with it.
It could just be first of all, we could discard it. We could be like, she has a moment of this swell of... It could just be like a small... Not everything has to be like a huge thing, right? It could just be a small moment of her sort of we go from the Eight of Swords of I'm trapped, I'm stuck, I don't know what's happening, adversary, I'm trapped in this dark shrine and I don't know where I'm going, to this just kind of stealing and being like, no. Look into your heart, how are you feeling, Sarah? I'm feeling like Kaguyahime is beautiful and the best, and I am her knight in shining armor, and I can do this. And just a moment of stealing. A really sort of closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, looks at the camera, and her eyes are shining. This little mermaid in the distance of this thing is her sort of vision of Kaguyahime being wow, she's so brave.
I feel like this could result in an action, though. Like, here she is in this, situation where she's lost, she doesn't know where she is, she's faced with, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to, should I go back and go the way that I think the notes meant me to go? Should I, keep going, here? Should I call out to Kaguyahime for help? Risk revealing my position?
Personally, I feel like this is just kind of go with your gut, pick a direction, and walk in that direction kind of situation.
That's what it feels like to me.
She just let's make it a little bit more physical. There's a staircase, and she's like, I'm going up the staircase. Why? Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm going up the staircase. That feels right. I feel
like that must be the right way.
That must be the right way. And I'm chosen by Kaguyahime. I know. Next card?
Yes.
Okay. It is the 10 of... Woo, fun. It is the 10 of Pentacles. This is just like a cool fox lady sitting on a throne, surrounded by kind of a general and a courtesan, and some little disciples, and just kind of chilling. We're just kind of chilling. It's the 10 of Pentacles.
It's the 10 of Pentacles, and we're just kind of chilling.
Uh-huh. From your description of Pentacles in the 1 through 10, I have a pretty good idea of what this is going to be.
Yeah, you're getting it. 10 of Pentacles is the completion of the cycle of Pentacles. You've done it. Great job. You have wealth. Everything that you've put your efforts into will pay off in the future. This is also a pretty good representation of what's on the Rider-Waite card. Furry-fied. It's an old man surrounded by younger relatives in a very, your inheritance, what the seeds you've sown will bear fruit in the future, that kind of thing. And, this doesn't always directly indicate, now you've done it, you've succeeded, so much as it indicates, in the long term, things will be okay. You have your ducks in a row. And you're completely set now on your journey to achieve material wealth and stability. So there's a sense of, I feel like the interpretations about legacy and family are not quite so helpful to us here. But definitely, stability, strong foundations, or maybe a windfall.
This also, again, goes well with 2 of Kaguyahime's cards, which is the 5 of Pentacles, or not having anything. That's her bearing. And her goal, which is the 1 of Pentacles, which is she wants to find cool shit. And now Sarah she's at the completion of the cycle. So there's 2 things that this could mean to me. It depends on how immediately we want to sort of move along. I would love to get them back together sooner than later. But we'll stay with the flow. I feel like Kaguyahime abandoning you is also part of the Kaguyahime experience.
Yeah.
But to me, this is either she finds the thing, and now she just has to get out, or she finds a safe, or a locked, or a conspicuous locked door, that clearly there's valuable stuff in there, or she just finds the thing. She walks, she has her moment of confidence, she walks up the stairs and it's just kind of there. Or big big ass safe that has all of Ichihime's life savings.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big ass safe that has all of Ichihime's life savings. It's like, you made a decision and it's led you to something good, even though it's not necessarily what you wanted. And now you know that this is the place where the valuables are. And so it's like, now you're set. Now you, like, have a clear path in front of you, and also can maybe figure out how to crack this safe and get Ishihime's life savings.
I'm gonna do a bit of scene setting, which is, she steals herself, she walks up those stairs, and then, there's this kind of beautiful meditation room. It's got cushions, it's got incense burning. No one's there, but it just kind of has, a perpetual cycle of incense burning. Through the window, you can see the sun, the sky is turning red, and you can start to see the moon shining through. And then in the corner of this really nice wooden meditation room is this massive metal safe. Kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. And it's like, yes, I've found it. It must be in here. Wealth is upon me. Inevitable. Next card.
Wealth is upon me. Next card.
The sun.
Whoa!
It's two little horses, and they're holding the sun. That's it.
I like these little horses so much.
They're very drawn like My Little Pony characters. They're very cute.
They're like kind of a mess. It's really adorable.
I know, it's great.
The
kind of like how to draw horses badly. This is I almost said a face card. Ballatrobe poisoned. This is a major arcana. It's not even a face card anyway. This is a major.
You can transform 3 of your cards into the heart suit with this. That's what the sun does in Ballatrobe.
It's a major arcana, so that means a major moment, a major event.
So the sun is very near to the end of the cycle of major arcana. It's the 19th card in the cycle of 21, only followed by Judgment and then the World. The sun, as it sounds, is pretty good. It sounds great. The sun is success. The sun is abundance. The sun gives strength and vitality. The sun is joyful. Happiness is listed twice on this list of keywords. Happiness, joy, happiness. Like, yeah, I guess so. The sun is the source of all life. The sun is also illuminating. Something which is hidden has been revealed to you. All of these things.
I have a pitch, but if you have an idea, you can go first.
Pitch. Go for your pitch. I'm also writing, so go for your pitch.
This is so stupid. But Sarah, she's like, I found the safe. And she walks up to the safe, and then she notices that the safe has I have 2 options. She notices that the safe has already been opened. And she's like, what? Did they just leave it open? And then she opens the safe, and not only is it full of, jewels and gold and teddy bears and powerful gaming systems, and paintings and clothes. These are all the bonding gifts in Bonding Soul. Anyway, also sitting in the middle of it, Ash, you can have your pick, depending on how on the rails we want to stay. Sitting in the middle of all of this wealth, surprise, either it's Kaguyahime or it's Fuji.
Shit. That's a lot of pressure you put on me.
It really just sort of came to me.
The thing
I was
is...
opening the thing and just finding the headpiece is too simple and benign for the sun, I think. It needs to be a surprise that is good.
It's Fuji.
It's Fuji, yeah.
It's Fuji.
Uh-huh.
Can't.
Editing, please put that in there. This is a voice clip I only minorly edited from one of Fuji's voice lines in which she goes, can't.
Can't.
Okay, open the safe. There's Fuji on a pile of
safe?
coins and gems and jade, as she deserves to be.
There's Fuji.
There's Fuji. Wait, is the headpiece there?
Yes, but Fuji has it.
Is she wearing it?
Yes. Fuji didn't win it off her. She just happens to be here and wearing the headpiece.
Yeah.
Fuji is not our villain. I mean, kind of. But
well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Another goddess has entered the chat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next card.
Next card.
The High Priestess. Oh shit!
That's a good one.
Major arcana in a row. This is like a stylish furry lady. A lot of these are sort of ambiguously furry, which I enjoy.
I appreciate it.
She both her hat is kind of like a sombrero that's also a big moon. Like it swoops around and up like a big moon, and also like the shoulders of her dress are like a big moon. Hard to explain. You'll have to look at it. But she's surrounded by these sort of like statues of praying figures and also like spine bones. She has a book and a scroll, which I think is normal High Priestess stuff, and she has like she's tightly corseted. She's got a sweeping sort of tight dress. This art is sick.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so funny to see the sun and the priestess next to each other. The simplest little horsey drawings, and then like the most beautiful, elaborate. It's great. The High Priestess, conversely, is number 2. The third one. They're 0 indexed. Number 2 in the cycle of Major Arcana. It's, the Magician is number 0, or the Fool is number 0, and the Magician is number 1, and then the High Priestess is number 2. But the High Priestess has inner knowledge, intuition. She understands, things that are beyond your comprehension. Open to spirituality. The Rider-Waite Tarot, this is a great interpretation of the card in the Rider-Waite deck, IMO, which is that the High Priestess is seen at night. And so she has this big-ass moon ornaments on, and it's really good. And so there's a sense of mystery, there's a sense of somebody who is a powerful guide through something that is, maybe frightening or difficult to comprehend. Basically, the High Priestess is a person who knows better than you. Unconscious, higher power, inner voice. This is Fuji, right?
This is Fuji, yeah. I feel like my intuition is you might have a better sense of why this is, in what way this is Fuji than I do.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Fuji found in the safe, wearing the headpiece, is like, I knew you would come. And is like, come closer, for I can reveal to you why it is you have ended up here, and why it is I have the prize that you seek. She's
Uh-huh.
like, you know, there's the sense that, like, maybe Fuji orchestrated all of this, even though that's insane. Like, you know, hello, it's me, your goddess. I've come, you know, your harebrained scheme in order to work for someone who doesn't care about you has resulted in a meeting with me. Fuji.
But of course she says this, like, let me tell you how it is, like, boop, bop, boop.
Let me tell you the secrets of the universe, like, wah!
Like, shwa! And
she's mysterious because she looks like a 16-year-old girl.
Wait, sorry, how old is her face in this scene?
Oh, 16 exactly.
16 exactly. Sarah's like, this is a 16-year-old, but also a goddess.
16-year-old, but also an old woman.
I think Sarah's very emotionally conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is Fuji. I think this is Bond up Fuji. That's what it is in my mind. She's got the flowing blue. I'm picturing like the flowing blue folds falling over the shining yellow coins, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess it would be copper. My bad. I think she's very conflicted and confused. She's having a minor crisis of faith. Should we draw to see what Fuji tells her?
Yes.
All right, here we go. The Ace of Flasks.
Whoa.
It's a cat guy in a sort of like old school medical uniform holding up a big flask, and then there's a bunch of guys around him in like gas masks with tubes going to the flask, like one of those gas mask bongs. And then above them is a bird dropping some sort of item into the flask.
So the Ace of Cups, obviously, is the beginning of an emotional journey. New feelings, an awakening. You know, cups also relate strongly to this intuitive, like, mystical sense that the High Priestess also represents, which I think is good. I feel like cups are very much Fuji's suit here.
Yeah.
And, you know, so the Ace of Cups is like a fresh start, as all of the aces are, you know. And there's, like, you know, one of the key words, which I feel is significant, is love. Open yourself to new opportunities.
Oh no, Sarah!
It's up to you whether you take the cup.
Oh no. So then, logically, is this Fuji, like, recruiting? Is this Fuji being like, listen. Fellas, stay with me.
Stay with me.
We're so in sync today, it's insane.
The same emphasis. Fucked.
We're just in tune.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Oh, she's like, listen. I guess my question is, like, sort of like, does she trash Kaguyahime, or does she merely extol herself? Is this a, like, you know, Kaguyahime doesn't respect you? Or is this like this is inevitable, like, I will treat you with so much love and appreciation, and, like, I'm clearly what you were here to find. Start again with me.
I think it's definitely more the latter. Fuji is trying to appeal on this very, like, it's fate that we met like this, like,
It's fate. It's fate that we met. Like what?
Like bang.
Okay, continue.
I was like, is there a joke that you're prompting me for? And then it took me a minute to figure it out.
It's fate that we met like bang.
It's fate that we met like bang. And like whoosh. You could be, transported into a new life. New possibilities are open to you, like wow. She's not saying like leave your wife. But she's not saying leave your life like leave your wife like bye. But she is saying, fellas, stay with me. Like whoa.
Like shua.
Like shua.
Like shua. Okay. And then Sarah's response is, I just realized that there is a woman in Mahjong Soul named Sarah, but it's not her. Nor is it the woman named Sarah. Different. The Two of Flasks! Fuck.
Oh my god.
Insane art on this card. This is like a I guess it's like a girl and a guy, kind of fox-looking people in kind of like BDSM outfits. They got the thigh-high boots. The woman's in a corset, and they're wearing the bong gas masks, going up to each other's flasks. They're each holding a flask, and they're sipping through their gas masks from each other's flasks. Above them, there's also a fetus in a jar. And they're also connected at the crotch by these, like, gas mask tubes. Well, I think our goddess Tryst is about a different goddess now.
Well, we were debating whether or not we wanted our goddess Tryst to be with Kaguyahime or Fuji.
Uh-huh.
This was one of the core... Like,
we talked about this as we were planning this episode. This is not scripted. I want to be clear.
This is not scripted. So the Two of Cups, sequel to the Ace of Cups, is, this will shock you, partnership. Close bonds. Your emotions are compatible. And there's a strong pair. The joy of two becoming one. Keywords. Attraction. Joining forces. So how do you feel about this one?
I guess so it's obviously what happens here. I guess my question is, why does it happen? Like, why does Sarah make this switch to Fuji? What about Fuji, makes her fall in love and start a new Tryst, a sub-Tryst? Is it that Fuji is nicer? Is there some, like, aspect of Fuji? Is it that Fuji sort of, like, again, is it that Fuji sort of, like, wants her help in a more genuine way? Like, I think they're probably gonna rob this vault together. But, like, is Fuji's sort of pitch in this sort of, like, I understand the universe in ways that you don't, that, like, Kaguyahime, wants to use you to rob the vault, but I want to use robbing the vault to get you.
Can I pitch you on a joke answer?
Yes.
Kaguyahime, her bearing, how she appears to others, is fucked at the moment. She has, she's lost her headpiece. She's upset. She's disheveled. She doesn't have her usual charisma.
She's begging for help a little bit.
She's begging for help from someone who never would have, she would never have given a second glance to the valet before.
Oh, you're cutting out a little bit.
I'm cutting out very badly. It's fine. She never would have given a second glance to the valet before this. Why? What is wrong with my audio? Hold on. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Speaking directly into the microphone. Speaking to you, John Discord.
Okay. I got the gist.
And so, here's my joke answer. Is, where is that headpiece now? Fuji is wearing it.
So
all the charisma contained within Kaguyahime, she's lost it. And now, it has a new owner.
So your joke answer is basically that Fuji is hot.
My joke answer is that Sarah never loved Kaguyahime. She loved the one peen.
Right. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make it a little bit less shallow. Which is it's not about it's not about specifically the headpiece per se, but the appearance of a goddess as a goddess is very important to her. Sort of the aesthetics of the situation is really a huge attractor for her. And when Kaguyahime just kind of has normal hair, she's I'm willing to help you. I'm more than willing to help you get this back. Maybe this is part of why she could be strength, is she's I feel like you don't have as much power right now. And so, but I'll help you get back your power. And then, everything works out. But now Fuji has kind of symbolically stolen Kaguyahime's power. And this is just very hot, IMO.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not about the headpiece per se, it's about what the headpiece and what Fuji stealing the headpiece represents. And then two becomes one, and she's like, okay, I'm yours. You got me. Next card. The King of Swords.
Oh shit.
This is like a demon guy. You can see his I love how furry this deck is. His candy corn demon horns sticking out of his very pointy helmet. He's so big that his shoulder guards are little turrets that have little mini guys with swords on them. He has two big swords where the handles are, the hilts are mouths out of which the swords are sticking, and also they're glowing or on fire. His whole armor is covered in upset faces. Sick. The King of Swords.
Very sick. He has a Hollow Knight nail. This is a Hollow Knight character.
This motherfucker is from Hollow Knight.
Also, in a mask with various sort of buggy protrusions.
This motherfucker is from Hollow Knight.
The King of Swords is really interesting. So the King of Swords is authority, discipline, integrity, morality. The King of Swords is in a place of power over logic, intellect, reason, active, earthly pursuits. And so, I feel like the King of Swords here indicates, I feel like, the transition from High Priestess to Ace of Cups to Two of Cups cannot be subverted. It's so strong. We can't go she commits to this relationship and then goes, no. But I have a duty to my family. That's a Limbus Company reference. But I do feel like, here's my pitch, is that, Sarah and Fuji, spend some time together here in this, in the moonlight,
in the vault.
This room, on top of all of this copper and jade and clothing and books,
paintings,
and video game consoles and cookies.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the cookies.
They commit to a partnership together, and Sarah is like, there's one more thing I need to do before I can, go back to luck and fortune with you. And it's like, I came here to get that headpiece back, and I need to give it back to Kaguyahime.
Okay.
I have to complete my mission.
So, she's kind of like a loser who's incredibly shallow. But
yes.
She's also honorable.
She's a knight.
Honorable
loser.
This is different from my pitch, but I like it so much that I'm gonna hold my pitch for later.
Okay.
Okay. Confrontation. Swords. The King of Swords. Notably, however, I will say that Sarah's suit is wands. So I think this is a bit of a weak pitch. I don't think she looks, I think she's resolute. I think if this was the King of Wands, then she would have, in Goddess Tryst, the mortal never has any real power, but she would at least have the semblance. I think this is a little shaky. She's doing the King of Swords, but it's not her suit, so it's a little shaky. And then the Hanged Man.
Whoa. Oh, this is a good Hanged Man.
Yeah, this is like a bat guy.
Upside down.
In like a Robin Hood sort of getup, hanging upside down from like a trellis with roses, or with like vines with flowers on them coming down. Has sort of a fun smirk. Is surrounded by this frame made of rope, and roses. Cute.
So the Hanged Man is not, the Hanged Man is one of those tarot cards that comes up and you're like, shit, this one looks bad, like death or the devil. But actually, the Hanged Man is not quite so much. There's both these keywords I think will be important here. Which is sacrifice and uncertainty.
Okay, I have it. But continue.
Let me... Yeah. So the Hanged Man is, in this position by choice, more or less. Not... has knowingly, suspended himself here. And there's a certain amount of, acceptance of the fact that time must pass. but also a lack of, like, agency indicates, like, you know, there's nothing to do but wait. There's no, like, you know, future here. So, like, you know, it's a very, like, it's sacrifice and uncertainty. There's a period of indecision. There's a suspension of action.
This is also a major card, so it's a major moment. I have a pitch that might be a little bit off, but is just, you know, is risking it and just waiting to see what will happen. Fuji, because she's Fuji, is like, okay, but we have to gamble on it. We have to roll a dice or, you know, pick a tile, etc. We have to gamble on it. And if, you know, our relationship that we've established is not necessarily on the line, but if I lose, you get the headpiece, and you get to take it to Kaguyahime before you come and work for me.
At my mahjong dojo.
Yeah, if you lose, what?
If you lose...
What can Sarah further give up?
Yeah, what is the sacrifice? I don't know. This is difficult.
I mean, it could just be like a more indentured contract than what was previously discussed. Like, you know, if you lose, you're truly mine. You really have to forsake everything except me. It could be, you know, then you literally have to give me, it could be a sort of equivalent of like, you literally have to give me all of your money that you own ever. It could be, you have to, listen, we can go back to playing Goddess Tryst. It could be, you have to give me all of your clothes, and humiliatingly walk back to luck and fortune in your underwear. Or
Strip
less.
mahjong.
Strip mahjong with goddesses.
No, wait, hold on. Okay. Strip mahjong. But the piece of clothing Fuji has to remove is the headpiece. And the piece of clothing you have to remove, well...
well... So is this all that this card is? This they initiate a game of strip mahjong?
I kind of think so.
And question about the rules. Is it like a single hand wins all? Or does it come off? Or are they putting like a certain number of pieces of clothing on the line?
This is high stakes strip mahjong.
We're all familiar.
We're all familiar. Also, there's only 2 people playing. Do they have to go down and get Ichihime to play a round of Sanma? Fuji's like, wait, hold on. Okay, let me go downstairs. I'll get Ichihime. We'll come up here. Don't worry about it. Listen, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. We gotta play 1 round of Sanma. 1 hand. You know. And if I run off of Ichihime also has to take off her shirt.
And now we're just kind of writing. And then Ichihime is like, wait, what is, first of all, what, that was in my safe? And then Fuji's like, listen, if you win, I'll give you, like, a really nice piece of fish. And Ichihime is like, okay, I'm in.
What cards represent... Wait, hold on, okay. This is great. Do we want to indicate what, the next card might mean? Because I feel like the next card is who wins the game of strip mahjong.
Right. Okay. Here's... I think it's and the sort of number determines the situation, and or like the circumstance, how it goes.
Yeah.
I think Fuji is cups, Sarah is wands. These are pretty locked in. I think Ichihime could be swords.
Yeah, I think Ichihime fills in the missing swords.
My original pitch for King of Swords is that Ichihime crashes their party.
Oh, damn.
And Ichihime is the King of Swords. But I just really liked your thing. But we kind of got there anyway. Ichihime is swords. If it's pentacles, then Kaguyahime bursts in and everything goes to hell.
Awesome.
And if it's a major arcana, we just sort of figure it out?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Depends on whether or not the major arcana is any good.
Yeah. I mean, we can always discard. We'll figure it out. I really need to go get some water. I'll be literally 2 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to be hydrated for this part. Getting my cups. Getting my one of cups. Going to the bathroom to fill it up. I guess I'll keep this in the podcast. Now that I've said so many things.
Yeah. This is a great bit that we do whenever we're in a voice chat, is that Ivy will just leave and keep talking from far away.
My water. I only bumped into the wall 2 times.
She can't hear me. It's funny.
Ash, I can see from the audacity that Ash was talking while I was away. I guess I'll figure that what that is in the edit.
I didn't have much time to say anything scandalous.
Is everyone ready? Are we ready?
I'm bracing.
Here we go. I'm dragging it. I'm placing it. 3, 2, 1, flip. The 6 of flasks. Fuji wins.
Fuji wins! The 6 of
flasks.
The 6 of cups.
The 6 of cups. This is a big cat wearing kind of like, it almost looks like religious garb, who has like a round kind of bubbling flask as a sort of fun hat, and then has 5 other little cats around them, kind of worshipping them with their own little flask hats. And there's a church in the background. It's got religious vibes.
So the 6 of cups, generosity, reconnecting, healing, comfort. There's a lot of, like, returning to a familiar place, returning to a happier time. There's a lot of associations with nostalgia, and, like, the past. But generally speaking, this is, like, a very positive, emotional card. This is a card for, like, and now everything is going to be okay.
Do you have an intuition here?
Only a little bit. I'd like to hear what you have.
Okay. Trying to think if this is too much. It's fine. Well, I can literally cut it out also if it's too much. The magic of editing. Fun fact, people, I do sometimes edit. I'm capable of it.
I believe this. I know it.
I'm looking at these cats, and I'm looking at their fancy pieces of headwear. And Fuji's like, well, first of all, she gives Ichihime her fish, mostly so she'll go away. She's generous.
She's generous.
She's like, listen, you lost the bet. And so you have to, Fuji's a real gambler. She's like, you're not getting out of it. The generosity is not that you're getting out of it. But Fuji's like, listen, I'm generous. I had a good time. Now you have to take off all your clothes. However, I'll also take off all of my clothes, except for the headpiece.
No, that's good. It's perfect. In our game of intense one-round strip mahjong, I've come out victorious. Meaning you don't get my headpiece. But, like, let's walk home naked together.
Together.
Truly returning to a familiar place that is your birthday suit.
Uh-huh. I also think the generosity goes the other way in a sort of like, you know, metaphorical way. I think Sarah deals in to Fuji, and it's not intentional, or is it? Sort of unclear. Ipeko. She's got Ipeko. Yeah, Ipeko Tanyo. Good hand.
Ipeko Tanyo, Kita Kita Dora Dora.
Ooh.
Generous.
Yeah. The two symbolism from the two of flasks.
Yeah.
Just kind of happened.
I definitely meant it.
Okay. So now we're all naked.
Now we're all naked. Ichihime is in the bottom floor eating some fish. Sarah is naked. Fuji is naked except for Kaguyahime's crown.
Headpiece.
And they're still kind of illegally on the second floor of Mahjong Soul Shrine among all of Ichihime's mortal possessions.
Ash?
Yes?
Oh, okay. Did you just say among all of Ichihime's various things? You cut out for
all of her mortal possessions, yes.
Okay. I guess let's see what... I mean, also note, we can end the story at any time. I don't quite feel like we've resolved yet.
We have to get out of the shrine and see Kaguyahime. We have to get
again. Out of the shrine, yeah, at least. We need to end up in a place that is slightly more stable. And then I'm flipping a card. Justice. It's a jackal.
Insane.
It's a jackal with a sword. And Scales has a little Ankh tattoo on her hip. Big tits, hot jackal lady. The scale is weighing a heart against a feather. There's pyramids in the background. There's this sort of stonework with jackal.
You know, it's Anubis.
It's Anubis. It's justice. Justice is here.
Justice.
Major arcana. Major event.
Major event. This will shock you, but one of the key symbolisms of the justice card is justice. Justice also kind of what it says on the tin. Honesty, integrity, karma, consequences, law, justice. You know, it's justice.
It's justice. Anubis
your decisions
is here.
Have effects.
Oh no. Ash, what happens?
Fuji and Sarah, descend the stairwell and leave Mahjong Soul. I have to keep staying close to my microphone so Discord will pick me up. They leave Mahjong Soul Shrine together, nude. And there's Kaguyahime. Shabby. Headpiece-less. Indignant. All of the things that, Sarah saw in her while she was choosing Fuji just earlier, remembering all of the ways in which Kaguyahime looked shabby, indignant, etc.
Justice is here.
Justice is here. I feel like the justice is... The thing is, it's hard to say that the justice is that Kaguyahime never treated her right, because she's kind of a... Yes?
Ash, you might want to, turn up your noise threshold, or your volume threshold on your... Because you keep cutting out.
Okay.
And I want to hear your epic speech about Kaguyahime.
I'm making an epic speech, and they don't respect me.
They don't... Or turn the threshold down? Whatever makes it more audible more often.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to the recording, and I don't personally care if you sound like shit over Discord, so...
Well, let's stop automatically determining my input sensitivity and just put it really low.
That'll do it. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So, fucking... they walk out of Mahjong Soul Shrine, they see Kaguyahime. It's hard to say that justice is Kaguyahime never treated Sarah right, because this just feels like Sarah's also kind of a loser. She's such a, Sarah is a person who was a hanger-on to Kaguyahime without Kaguyahime really asking. It's just that Kaguyahime is the kind of person who has worshippers and doesn't discourage that in any way. But I also feel like it would be weird for justice to be Kaguyahime going, "Why would you do this to me?" on account of Kaguyahime has no real attachment to this person.
Right.
And is mostly just kind of wants the headpiece.
Right, but she has still betrayed her, and I think in a cosmic sense, even if your goddess is Kaguyahime of all goddesses, there's still, consequence to betraying, your pantheon. This still has consequence, and Kaguyahime is still upset about it, if not because she cares about Sarah, then just because she cares, about kind of the abstract... This is weirdly, this is kind of similar to how Kaguyahime doesn't know what sex is. Kaguyahime doesn't care about you betraying her because she's emotionally attached to you. She just understands sort of the concept of being betrayed by someone who was supposed to be, following and worshipping her. And also, she just wants her headpiece. And now it's on Fuji, who's also naked. There's nothing to indicate that Fuji in the video game, that Fuji and Kaguyahime are particularly at odds. But I think she's aware that, this is another goddess. Why does she have my headpiece? This isn't even the goddess that took it from me originally. What's your fucking problem?
You're not even a cat.
Also, you're naked now.
Also, you're in the nude. May I pitch? Very simple. 4 words. Spinning. Ivy is spinning the justice card around on our screen.
Sorry, my bad. Yes?
Curse of the Moon.
Does she curse her with the curse of the moon?
Curse of the Moon. Now, the question we're all asking, what does this mean? What is the Curse of the Moon? Remember Mahjong Soul Pawn? They had a whole episode about it. What did we learn from that?
Gives you bunny ears. Makes it...
Who gets bunny ears?
Ash, I think we should draw another card to figure out what the next action is.
Okay. Alright.
I will also note that the way that Kaguyahime inflicts Curse of the Moon upon you for following the canon so tightly is by having you touch her ears. I'm gonna draw a card. I'm with you. I'm okay with a little bit of pre-planning. I just want a slightly more, I think justice, that moment of just like in the two of them naked encountering Kaguyahime in the moonlight is such a strong image that I just want to like hold that image, and then figure out what comes next with a new card. But I'm with you, fella. I'm with you. I'm flipping this card. The 10. The 10 of Wands.
My god.
It's a sexy anteater boy holding 10 big needles. Why is this anteater boy so sexy with his big anteater tongue? He's got his lashes done. Boy, what are you doing with those big needles? God damn.
I mean, win my clothes in a game of strip mahjong first.
The wands, I will remind you, is, 10 of wands is right after Sarah's card, the 9 of wands. And also the wands is where Sarah and Kaguyahime overlap. So something is going to happen between them.
So wands, our, Sarah's suit, and to a lesser extent Kaguyahime's. The 10 of Wands is a little bit less triumphant than the other 10s. The 9 of Wands, you'll remember, is like you're almost at the end of your long struggle. And the 10 of Wands is the completion of your circle of struggle. But it's, once you have completed your idea, once you have fully conceptualized your plan, I think for Sarah, really, like, once you have found your place in the world, which is to say, at Luck and Fortune Mahjong Dojo, you haven't done the work yet. You haven't, you're not at the 10 of Swords. You're at the 10 of Wands. And so the 10 of Wands is, responsibility, obligation. There's an undercurrent of real stress to it that's now the real work begins.
It's a moment of clarity.
Yes.
I guess, hypothetically, her moment of clarity could be, I'm going back to Kaguyahime, if we wanted to play that.
This feels disingenuous.
Her moment of... So her moment of clarity is is justice to some extent like Kaguyahime being mortal, bring me the headpiece, you dumb idiot. And then Sarah's no, I won't. I'm this sexy anteater boy. I'm filled with confidence. Sexy anteater boy. I'm stressed. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm ready for it. Fuji finds this hilarious. And then Kaguyahime headbutts her, and then Curse of the Moon.
Yeah, this is good, I think. No, I won't return the headpiece to you. I finally found my place. Fuji really cares about me. She even took all her clothes off. I'm going back to Luck and Fortune, in the dead of night with no clothes on, in order to show my devotion to my new master. I have no responsibility to you anymore. And Kaguyahime is I can't believe you. Get bunny girl. Be a bunny girl.
Womp.
Womp.
Just flings herself at her. Great. Next card.
Be a bunny girl.
Be a bunny girl. The 6 of Swords. It's some fancy dressed demon boys on a boat that is also a woman who's a bull. They're riding triumphantly off into the sunrise or sunset. This boat has a great ass.
Yeah, good for them.
Good for them.
The Six of Swords, I feel, might be the final card in our spread.
Okay.
On account of it is transition. Moving on. Leaving behind.
Uh-huh.
It's, your decisions have resulted in the need to move forward. You've accepted the lessons you've learned.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh. Okay. I have a pitch for you.
Okay.
Kaguyahime tackles her. The curse of the moon. She's inflicted. But Kaguyahime is in her weakened sort of pseudo-mortal form, as discussed in the Kaguyahime lore of her lines.
Yes.
And so they have just like a straight up brawl. They're just rolling on the ground and hitting each other kind of poorly because they both kind of suck. And like it's just a mess. And at some point, they roll against the curb of the building, and Sarah smacks her head and blacks out.
Uh-huh.
And then, she wakes up. It's still night. I have to find my image reference for this. Just to, I know it, but I have to make sure that I know it. It's still night. She's staring at the sky. She's lying on a warm stone surface. And, there's the sound of running water. The air is like warm and smells sweet, like flowers. And then, she gets up, she props herself up on her elbows, she rubs her head, she notices that she's still not wearing clothes. And then she looks to the side, and looking coquettishly over her shoulder, wrapped in a white and gold towel, is Fuji at the hot spring.
At the hot spring?
A bottle of sake and 2 sake cups, still wearing Kaguyahime's headpiece. Cut to credits.
Scene! Truly usurping as the one true hot spring skin. Sharon. Maybe the real goddess in our goddess Tryst was Sharon.
Was Sharon all along. Oh man.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. There are some Hi Ash, how you doing?
Hi.
That was really good. I had a very good time, actually. I loved our high-stakes game of Sanma. I fully expected Ichihime to come back as an antagonist. And no, she was just there to play Sanma.
She was just there to play Sanma. She didn't even... she got her fish.
She's fine.
She went back downstairs to eat her fish.
These questions are insane and very difficult to answer under the circumstances. But I'm gonna ask them anyway.
You gotta give it a fair shake.
I thank you. What's her name again? Anna Valens for this RPG. I love this RPG so much. I strongly recommend playing it, even just with your friends. Again, people don't have to have sex in it. I've also played it that way, and it is enjoyable, and that's all I'll say with that. But the sort of default ending questions are... It says on this page, then again, maybe the encounter doesn't truly end at all. It simply stops being told. So true.
So true.
Consider these questions before closing your story. What needs and desires did the player and the goddess seek out at the start, and were they successfully met in the end?
Well,
now...
Sarah just wanted a goddess.
Sarah just wanted a goddess.
Sarah achieved the 10 of Wands. I think she's good.
Yeah, she got there. She became a whole person. I feel like maybe she got worse as a person, sort of generally.
Kind of.
But like, she got a goddess who, well, you know, you heard the end of the story. Did Kaguyahime successfully meet her goals?
No?
No, not at all.
Seems like no.
In fairness, she didn't do shit.
She really didn't. She stood outside.
She stood outside, and then this didn't work out for her. And then she learned nothing. I think she just went and got a new headpiece, and then forgot that this happened. So, kind of. Did Fuji meet her goals? We didn't do a draw for Fuji, but probably.
I feel like Fuji came out great.
Fuji came out great.
She has a new employee.
She has a new headpiece.
She has Kaguyahime's crown, which I guess she has forever now.
Uh-huh. Great. How did this encounter impact the player? Did it change her? What about the goddess? This is actually genuinely an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Did Sarah change, like, as a person?
No.
No.
I feel like Sarah is still kind of just a shallow person who briefly had a fantasy of being an upright, dedicated knight.
Uh-huh.
Her first ever Night Girl Butch moment in her entire life. And then Fuji was like, it's okay. You don't have to be cool. You don't have to be morally upright. And then she wasn't.
I feel like the way in which Sarah has changed is just a locking in of her values, you know?
Yeah.
She was like, well, I love to be servile to these goddesses who may or may not care about me, but like, this is such a purposeful life I live, ultimately. And then, like, what she learned was that, like, well, it might not work out the way you think it will, but it'll work out.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's just like this, but, like, more permanently. Now she's, like, now she's the Knight of Flasks, which is much more resonant now than ever.
Oh yeah, it really is.
Just kind of forever.
Mm-hmm.
She's just kind of like that now. Did this change Kaguyahime? No.
Well, now she doesn't have her headpiece anymore.
She doesn't have her headpiece. Forever. Did it change Kaguyahime as a person?
Well, I don't think it... I think this was just, like, an exciting day she had.
Yeah, exactly. That's
She's
exactly
like,
my
I went
thoughts.
to the I went to the shrine. I had a bad day, and then I was like, but I can fix this. This mortal will help me. And then the mortal did not help her. And then she was like, man, fuck this. Be a bunny girl. And then she went home sad about it. But, like, really, mostly she just stood outside, and someone she didn't care about did a lot.
Uh-huh. And then she woke up the next day and she was still Kaguyahime.
Mm-hmm.
Has this changed Fuji at all?
I don't think anyone has changed. I think Fuji was always manifestly herself. She was like, hello, it's me, Fuji. I'm Fuji. I'd like to gamble. I'd like to be mysterious. And let's get together. And then they did. And then, I mean, I don't know, maybe Fuji changed to become a kinder person, given that you never take the owner's money at Luck and Fortune, but just for Sarah, she did take off all her clothes, except for Kaguyahime's headdress.
She, she learned to be a little playful.
Mm-hmm.
She took a little influence from the Kaguyahime headdress and be like, I can be a little playful.
I can be a little cute.
I can be a little cute. How would the player describe her encounter to herself afterward? What about the goddess?
Well, Sarah has a new job.
Shoutouts.
New place of employment. Is Luck and Fortune a better or worse employer than being a valet?
I think Luck and Fortune is a good employer. I think if you work for the house at Luck and Fortune, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Fuji, notably, Fuji is, very not mean. Sort of, generally, unless you, fuck with her rules. But if, you're a strong Fuji devotee, then, it's easy in a way. It's easier to stay in Fuji's favor than Kaguyahime's, even though Fuji is kind of more of a complex person.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, follow the rules, think that I'm hot.
Yeah.
We're all good.
She's less be beholden to my whims.
Yeah. I think the way that Sarah describes this encounter to herself afterwards is extremely Fuji-centric.
Mm-hmm.
She was
I got caught up in a whole situation at the Mahjong Soul Shrine, and it turned out that, I went upstairs and there was Fuji, and it's like, where's Kaguyahime and all this?
Right.
She just got caught up in a situation, okay?
Yeah.
Miki is more part of this story than Kaguyahime is. She was like, I got Miki's hedgehog, and then, it turned into a whole thing. But I met the employer of my dreams.
She's like, I righteously defended her afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Naked, but holding strong. And it's like, who against who? And it's like, don't worry about it.
Who was the aggressor? Why do you have bunny ears?
I think we've already established how Kaguyahime describes this to herself afterwards. It was just kind of like a bad day that was kind of boring.
A bad day.
Yeah. There's a lot of standing around for honestly no reason. Just go get another headdress, whatever.
Yeah. She was mostly bored. And then
how does Fuji describe this?
Regular Tuesday. This is what she does to get all of her employees.
Yeah. I think she has a good time.
Oh yeah, she has a great time.
I think when they're in the break room talking about, Fuji tells this story in great detail, too much detail, more detail than we got into maybe.
Mm-hmm.
but sort of like very enthusiastically. She thought it was hilarious.
Mhm.
She was like, this was great. You know, I set up this whole thing, and then it worked out in like the funniest and like most amazing way possible.
Mhm.
And then we hung out at the hot spring. And then Sarah blushes.
Mhm.
Fuji think that was really funny.
Yeah, I agree. It is funny.
It's funny. Well, there we go. There's Goddess Tryst. I'm going to read this last paragraph. Encounters with divinity can be amazing, beautiful, otherworldly, and change our lives for the better. Or they can be fleeting and awkward moments that are forgotten and fade into the background, written off as strange nights or weird synchronicities best left to the unconscious, the subconscious. So true. It certainly was some of those things some of the time. Well, I guess that's it. Happy anniversary, Ash. Thank you so much for being here, doing this with me.
Yay!
Yay!
I said yen because I was typing the word then.
Yen.
Yen.
Am I gonna reveal that we're recording these out of order? Maybe. Whatever.
We're
'Cause I was about to
recording these in sort of an insane way because I have finals.
Yeah.
And so we moved around a bunch of stuff in the schedule arbitrarily, semi-arbitrarily, so that I wouldn't have to do a bunch of podcast stuff during finals, because originally December was fucking packed.
Yeah.
And
we
it was
have
like, this is not good for me.
Hey, if you're listening to this in real time, we have another thing coming on Sunday, so watch out for that. But
It's also good.
revealing that we're recording this, I think I'll save my big sappy end of year speech for the final episode of the year. And just say thank you for that, Ash. That was very fun. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And we hope you'll join us for the second year of Soulmates.
Yay!
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 Okay, bye!
Bye!
この世の因果はすべて互いに補ってるねん。人々の福への祈願がどんどん福寿相前観へ集まって、ここからどんどん福運がもたらされていくねん。アンさんもこの因果の中で生きるもの。この福寿相前観の奥に足を踏み入れられるっていうことは、うちと縁があるということやな。このご縁を絶対に大事にしてな。そうすればきっと、これからのアンさんの人生には、常にうちの福運が寄り添うで。